All right, so this one is for you, dear Libra. That's you over here. This is Tarot Illumination. This is your generic kind of love and relationship report for lots of Libras for November 2018. I've done this before. If you're watching this channel, I'm sure you know the routine. Watch for your sun, moon, and rising, especially if they're all different. Okay, and then reinterpret everything to suit yourself, of course. Also, it might help to cross-watch a significant other. Also, if you're single and you still want to read this reading, then please allow for the laws of attraction. What are you radiating? And in which case, what are you attracting back to you? We're going to use the Crucible spread from Tarot Illumination. It's all about you, a significant other, and a third entity, the relationship itself, on the understanding that this third entity has a life, meaning, mission, purpose, and energy of its own. And it is owned by you guys. Okay? So what are you doing with that? Think of it as a business. Has it been neglected? Are you investing? Are you doing the repairs and maintenance? Is it solid? Is it flexible? Is it leaking? What is it? Is it broken? What is it? We'll come to that in a moment. I want to just do a few random notes here about the planets and so on. I'm not going to do much of it. If you really want to get into it more, please go and watch the general reports. It's a whole other playlist. You know, just go to the channel and cruise around. You'll find it. It's the November general reports, okay? We go much deeper into you, Libra, all right? But for love and relationship, I just wanted to point out a couple of things. Okay, let's just say this is you, okay, Libra? This is you. Lots of Libras, okay? The things I want to point out is November 17th, Venus in Libra moves direct after weeks retrograde. That should be a deep sense of relief for you, Libra, because Venus rules your sign, okay? So to have your planet going direct again, tremendous relief. Now, in contrast, over here, November 7th, a little bit earlier in the month, Uranus is going retrograde back into Aries. You've been dealing with this for 7 years, okay? We just had the ingress into Taurus. And you know what happens, you know, we go over these cusps and planets retrograde and go direct. Well, it just so happens that Uranus is going retro for a few months starting November 7th. So it's like you get to move forward over here with advances in how you relate and how you feel you relate to others. Whereas over here, you get action replays, rewinds, reviews, chances to observe what happened to you during that 7-year transit, to see where you went wrong, to see what you did right, and then have a chance to repair and maintain and improve things so that by the time Uranus does go direct and back into Taurus, you will have finished this cycle as well as you possibly can. This is the cycle. This is the axis of relationship, okay? Your first house, your 7th house, the significant other. I'm not going to talk much about love and romance over here because there's not a lot of aspects, but this is so lit up we have to mention it. Just want to throw in a couple of extra things. I'm not going to talk about all the rest of the stuff on here. November the 5th, the moon is in Libra, okay? So pay attention. How do you feel about yourself at that time? November 18th and 19th, the moon is in Aries. How do you feel about a significant other? How is a significant other feeling about you at these times? And this would be at the very subconscious, subliminal levels rather than intellectual. And you might feel senses of doubt from here, senses of self-doubt from here. This one is just coming up to a new moon. This one is just coming up to a full moon. So here, expect it to be kind of listless, maybe a little bit lacking in energy. Over here, expect to be culminating and building up a crescendo. All right? Let's leave it at that. Don't want to labor this thing too much. So, you'll see the crucible here in just a moment. We're going to lay it out. We're going to cut it out. Shuffle it and cut it and spread it out. I wanted to invite you guys while we're doing the promotional stuff. Thank you so much for all your subscribes and likes. It really, really helps. Do not be shy. It Every tiny bit counts here. Tarot Illumination is still very tiny, very new, very young. It's like a little baby. It's more demanding than ever. It needs more nutrition, more resources than ever. Don't be shy. Please consider also coming to First Friday group healing events. Okay, the next one is, let's see, I think November 2nd, and there's another one December 5th, I think. Anyway, check the links below. It's fun. We actually meet up and hang out live, okay? Sort of like what we do on Sunday Night Live. And last but not least, Tarot Illumination membership. That's probably the most important, valuable way you can say thank you. Check the links below. Tarot Illumination membership, okay? All right, cards are shuffled. We're going to cut it up. Thank you, dear Libra, for choosing Tarot Illumination. Bless the cards, bless this deck, bless this whole channel, bless this reading, bless Tarot Illumination, bless the stage and the cameras and lights and the internet and the platforms for all of this, that we can even do this. What are you radiating, Libra? Okay, think of yourself as a phone or some kind of a transceiver. Okay, what are they radiating over here? Same for them. Over here, deep inside of you at your heart and soul level, what are you radiating? What are they radiating from deep inside? Perhaps, again, unconsciously, we don't know. Over here, the very depth and core, this is the relationship itself. So there's you, Libra, significant other, third entity of the relationship, life, energy, meaning, mission, purpose of its own, okay? And what is this generating? This is like a living thing, okay? I think of it as the crucible. Crucible is this bowl structure. From the top, it looks like this, and this, but it is a structure that you guys own. If all you are aware of is this, then, you know, good luck. You can live like that if you want. In Tarot Illumination, we go deep, okay? This is what we do here, and it helps to understand this kind of structure and how the dynamics exist as we intimate and separate constantly, intimate and separate in very natural ways, just like the ocean waves in love and relationship. So what's going on here? Are you feeling this? Is it stable? Is it strong? Is it leaky? Whatever. Okay, well, let's have a look at environmental influences, circumstantial energy. I like to think of it as weather. Okay, the Queen of Wands. Okay, my feeling is that you're kind of lit up. I think it might be just the relief that comes from Venus going direct in Libra during November. Okay, it's nice. It's kind of nice to get back on track where you are like surrounded by, let's say, circumstances. I don't want to go too deep into all of this stuff because some of this is very supportive and luscious for you, but that's kind of on the personal level. I don't want to expand on it in terms of love and relationship, but what's good for you can also have a good impact on what's good for the relationships, okay? So my feeling here is that with the Queen of Wands out there, it's an indication that, first of all, recognize how incredibly lucky and fortunate you are in some way, shape, or form or other in your circumstances and love and relationship. Number two, that it's like you still have a duty and a responsibility to maintain that integrity in the context of relationship. And it's a question of honor, like being your most honorable Libra self in the context of relationship, no matter how challenging it might be, maintaining those classic Libra traits of harmony, balance, and basically, I don't want to say just accommodating the other so that everything works. You're not going to go along, you're not to get along, but what I'm suggesting is maintain, this is a strong indication, to maintain your integrity, yourself, your passion, your own drives, your right to be you, despite what's going on with a significant other or any kind of tremors or shakings in the relationship itself. Maintain your integrity, okay? What are you radiating here? Oh, the Hierophant. Okay, so, all right, you've just come out of October Libra season, and you might be all fired up thinking, aha, I've figured it all out. I now know the codes of life and how they actually really work for Libra, as opposed to how I thought they work worked so long ago, a year ago at this time. Okay, you've just started your Libra cycle coming out of October, Libra season for another year. And my feeling is that it's taking you to the next level of being Libra, where like you have a whole new code of conduct, a whole new set of standards about what works in relationships from your perspective, how things should be conducted in a formal Libran type of very respectful, diplomatic, effective way that works. And you've somehow or other got the recipe, or at least you believe that you have. What are the keys to success in relationship so that it works, not just for you, but for the other, for the relationship. Not only that, whatever is lacking about it, what is not working, that becomes very, very apparent here after November 7th, when that ingress happens and the retrograde happens here with Uranus. You might get some shocking, blinding awakenings like, oh my gosh, now I get it. Now I understand how I screwed up. Now I understand how they screwed up. Now I understand how our relationship really works. Oh no, oh no. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. That's good. And now you have a better chance of articulating that. So I think things are really only going to start to pick up for you in November, more towards the second half and towards the end of the month, as these dynamics really start to kick in. But you're already primed and ready for it because of coming out of October. Okay, already the Libra new moon and all of that stuff. Okay, what about them? What are they radiating over here? The Tower. Okay, so with the Tower energy over here, my feeling is that this is going to sound a little bit rude, November, but step back, stay out of the way. Let them have their Tower moment. Let them go through their cathartic changes, their own upheavals, their own cataclysmic events. Live and let live, okay? You don't have to jump in there and rescue. You don't have to, let's say, be a victim of this energy. If you have a significant other who is imploding, almost, at the level of tectonic plates, where these irreversible energies are just like grinding them or crushing them or just blowing it up, like hurricanes, tornadoes, volcanoes, tsunamis, fires, all of it, however you want to look at it. With the Tower energy here, they might be going through their own like big blow up moment. Now, it might not be anything to do with you or the relationship. It's live and let live here. We haven't even got into this part yet. So in order for you to like be a truly authentic Libra, my feeling here is to maintain your integrity, your stature, your self-respect, your dignity, your inspiration, your light, your, let's say, your drive, your majesty. Forget the gender, okay? Stick to your new codes that you know work, the new stuff that you know is unfolding for you, that are the more highly evolved codes of conduct and relationship that you used to have. Live and let live. Allow them to, go ballistic if they want to, if they have to. Step back. And you don't have to be bulldozed by this. Just let it be and then go from there. And just let them know, like, I'm here. Don't worry, I am here, but I'm not going to go down with you. I have a life to live. You have a life to live. We have a life together. We have this, we have that. But we are still highly distinct individuals. It may feel like very fated circumstances right now, Libra, where you don't have a lot of control or options with any of this, and you're just witnessing events that are above and beyond your ability to just press a button to make things happen or not according to your will. So to me, this feels like what happens, when you get a big surf wave, like, and we intimate and we separate. My feeling, this is the energy that I'm sensing at that moment of like crash and wipe out. And then it takes a time for the crash and wipe out to settle before new things can form, okay? Because it never stops. The flow never, ever stops. So what will be given birth out of this? Let's have a look. Deep down inside of you, what's going on? Okay, Queen of Cups. Again, I see all the best of intentions here. It's like you have no other wish except to do what needs to be done, to love and to be loved. And it's a question of now going forward, how does this actually work? How do we actually do this? How am I supposed to do this? I know I have a new set of protocols. I know I have a new set of beliefs, understandings, ways of conducting myself in relationship now going forward. There's no going back. It requires higher standards. And so deep down, you know that. I feel that you know that, but in some ways it does put a lot of pressure on you to figure out what exactly am I doing with my love, the love that I carry in me for number one, myself, number two, my significant other here, and for number three, our relationship. How exactly am I going to do this? What exactly am I supposed to do? I feel that there's a big question mark hanging over the Queen of Cups here. So it might be an idea for Libras to ask themselves, what does this really mean? What are you actually doing in your relationship? What are you observing in your relationship? What are you observing that's happening in a significant other? How is that affecting you? What are you realizing now in full clarity that is happening with you, and how is that affecting a significant other? I'm not saying you are to blame for their cataclysmic events, and they're not out to destroy you or anything. I'm just saying that, life is what it is, and events happen, and what are you doing about it here when it comes to the love? Okay, it's a very beautiful card, don't worry about that, but I do feel a question mark hanging over here. What about deep down inside of them? Okay, Nine of Swords. All right, so to me it feels like there's a lot of pressure, and I don't know why. I'm not going to say why, Libra. You would know that. If you are sensing, Libra, that you, in your own best efforts to be your own best amazing self, despite all best efforts, you're relating with someone who's essentially imploding, and deep down inside of them, they are basically coming unglued for whatever reason. Maybe they're not being open about this. Maybe this is deeply hidden, private, secret energy. And all these stark realizations of anything and everything that's not working for them are becoming crystal clear. In other words, there's you, Libra, and there's a significant other. My feeling is that with the Venus going direct and Uranus going retrograde, you're going to get really, I'm not sure if it's going to be right in your face, but somehow or other you're going to feel it at the core of you. There are stark realizations that there's something really fundamentally out of whack. No matter how much goodness can come out of the Libra new starts from October, my feeling is that you're actually in pretty deep water here with a significant other, where these are matters beyond your control. I don't think you can control what's happening with them, or that's even your right or duty. I don't think even in your best Libra self, diplomatically trying to massage things or balance things out, you could stop this or interfere with this. It's live and let live. They're living their experience in the context of this relationship. And if they are super stressed out about themselves in the context of the relationship, then so be it. Doesn't mean it's the end of the relationship, but there's obviously huge cathartic changes happening with a significant other here, and it's not exactly fun for them either. And yeah, it's very noble that you're doing the best you can. So, when we're talking about intimacy and separation here, we intimate, we separate. My feeling is that you're maintaining your integrity, that you have to maintain your integrity in these conditions and circumstances all around you. Whatever is happening around you, it's very, very important to maintain your self-love, your integrity with yourself, and allow them to go through these cathartic events, okay? No blaming. You know, it's their pain. It's not your pain. You can empathize with them as much as you can. You can maintain your integrity and dignity for them as much as you can, but it's still their life. Okay, what about the relationship? Okay, the High Priestess. Okay, we've got a lot of big cards here in key positions. My feeling, my very, very first deepest feeling was that the reality is for you, Libra, despite best efforts, you don't actually have a clue what's going on. It's impossible to tell. My feeling is because there are secrets, things going on behind the scenes, beyond the veil that you can't possibly discern, no matter your best efforts, okay? It's like you're dealing with a wall of mystery. And in some ways, my feeling that this could be very challenging for you, Libra, because you wouldn't know what to do with this or how to handle it. Also, with High Priestess energy here, my feeling is that the relationship might be taking on a level of divinity that you might not have really planned for or allowed for, like the spiritualization of a relationship, as opposed to something maybe that was carnal or three-dimensional or very traditional or something. You're discovering that it's a whole other thing, and it's going to start to unfold in ways that you can't possibly predict. So that's, you know what? Just thought of something over here. Mars is in Aquarius early on, but it switches to Pisces later on. Let's put that in here, okay? Mars is in Aquarius, switching to Pisces, okay? It switches to Pisces. Mars switches to Pisces on November 17th. So right now, with Mars in Aquarius over here in your 5th house of love and relationship, well, mostly like the true romance part, the fun part of love and relationship, as opposed to the serious part, or as opposed to the deeply intimate, most profound serious parts. This would be the everyday lovey-dovey romance stuff. With Mars in Aquarius here, it can be very stimulating and exciting, but it can also be very conflicted and very hard to handle, okay? Because that's what Mars does. Mars stirs things up. And it might not, even though it's very harmonious energy for you, the Aquarius Libra energy is harmonious, it can still put the romantic situation in a state of conflict, okay? So we have to allow for that. I'm allowing that. It never occurred to me before. I'm glad we saw that. So, but that puts you in a situation because you're not interested in war or combat or conflict, even if it is triggered or stimulated, even if it is exciting or tempting to get into that. Instead, the relationship is showing all the signs of being, there's a lot of hidden stuff. You don't know what's going on, and that can be a problem. Like, especially if you do want to know what's going on, like the more you dig to try and find out, the less you will discover. So there's no point. But for sure, you're dealing with someone who's really stressed out about themselves in a context of this relationship. And you're doing a great job. Okay, let's have a look over here. Now remember, okay, so this is the alchemist, okay? It's like the magician. So have a look. It's an amazing, amazing image here. Okay, so my feeling here is that as stressful as this might be for a significant other, you have like a responsibility and a duty to maintain your integrity throughout all of this. Be loving, and maybe not expect to be loved anytime soon or immediately. Allow for the mystery. Allow for there's a lot that you really don't know what's going on here. And allow for the relationship itself to trigger your, let's say, my feeling is like your, to me, this almost feels like a positive feedback loop. Can you, I mean, look, seriously, Libra, Hierophant, the Tower, High Priestess, the Alchemist here. And so it's like it's almost like there's nothing you can do about this by manipulating circumstances. The only answer is to go with the flow. And my feeling here with the Alchemist is that the message is to treat this whole experience is an amazing learning opportunity for you to grow in the context of love and relationship. How does that translate that in terms of with a significant other, especially if they are basically blowing up, changing, or hugely, I just think of it as cathartic. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do with all the ingredients, the value, the structures, the newly learned protocols in relationship? What are you going to do with all that power now that you have it? Because there's a lot at stake here for you. My feeling is that without taking full control of this, this whole situation becomes very leaky, very, very wobbly, very, very unstable. And so it requires you, Libra, to, let's say, rise to your power, gather all your resources, talents, gifts, abilities, drives, love, and figure out what exactly are you going to do. Okay, you don't have to save them. You don't have to save the relationship. You don't have to compromise yourself. You just have to figure out what is the most loving thing you can do in this context of this relationship. Perhaps it's live and let live. Allow them to discombobulate. Allow the fact that there's a mystery that you can't understand. And go back to yourself. Feed the power back to yourself so that you at least maintain your integrity and stability throughout all of this, because that's the most loving thing you can do ultimately for the significant other over here and for the relationship over here. It may be so tempting to try and figure this out, or try to get, getting drawn into their own, I don't want to say drama, but their own, I don't know if it's even a hurricane or anything like that, because this could be extremely deep, like the movement of tectonic plates well below the surface, but it has huge impacts on day-to-day life on the surface, but you can't necessarily see them. They know it, they feel it, they know it's happening. In some ways, it's really terrifying and scary for them, because I don't think they know how their energy is impacting the relationship. So you're kind of at the mercy of the fates here. The only option is to be you more than ever before, okay? I'm sorry this went on a bit long. Thank you, Libra. All the best. Please consider becoming a member. All the best. Bye-bye.